Alrighty, and welcome back guys. So the Trickster's been on the PTB a few days now and I want to give my opinions on a new killer, so stay tuned. Alright, the Trickster is probably the weakest killer released in the game. There, I said it. I'm expecting everyone to come at me now in the comments, but just remember guys, keep it constructive. There is always a white knight process when it comes to DBD and people coming in to rush to the defence, and I'm sure I will see a lot of people saying it's too soon, it's a PTB, give them a chance. But let me just say a few things. I'm going to start with the PTB. The PTB means nothing in regards to gameplay. You go test out in the PTB, you are already putting in a really bad matchmaking system. The matchmaking isn't the best on the live service, but it's even worse in the PTB. Players mess around, they don't play properly, and then you'll have content creators trying this killer out and saying, he is fun, thank you devs, etc, etc. The PTB is not a serious way to check. No one gives a fuck on that. I just sat around doing gens and the killers message complaining because it's a PTB. Why am I doing gens? They want to test out a new killer. So please don't come here and say, oh, so and so got 4Ks against an insane team, because one, that team wasn't insane. I'll put that out there. It wasn't insane. Show me the end chat after and show me all the ranks. I know people are going to say ranks mean nothing. Secondly, show me the game. Guaranteed people were just pissing around or were bad or boosted survivors. I waited 25-30 minutes for each killer game, and that's fair enough. We haven't got cross-platform, and also everyone wants to try a new killer, so I'm not complaining about that. But the PTB isn't really going to give you a reflection of the killer in his true strength. People are going to say, well, you're contradicting yourself a bit there because you're basing this on the PTB. I am basing it on the stats of the killer, looking at his powers, feeling how he plays, and just getting a general feel of him. The bottom line is, I cannot actually think of a killer worse than this one. Who's worse? The answer is no one. Generally when people do tier list, you get certain killers that are around there. Off the top of my head, you have Trapper, Wraith before the buff, Clown, whoever that is, they're normally near the bottom. They are better than this killer. Let's recap what this killer needs. This killer is going to hit you 8 times, and that's going to get your laceration up, and 8 hits is going to get you in the injured state. Another 8 hits after the survivor will put in the dying state. That's 16 hits. 16 range hits, and yes, I know you can fire them in a flurry, however it's not accurate. It's got an awful recoil system, and basically you're running at a much slower speed, being a 4.4 meters per second killer, 110%. The killer can M1, but you can't use this to compensate, because if you've tried them, let me know how your chase game went, and if you haven't, then do me a favour, get on that PTB, try him out, try chasing Survivor, see how well you do. If you haven't got the PTB, load up as, I don't know, the Hag, and try chasing Survivors and let me know how that went. To compare, he is the same speed as the other range killers, such as a Huntress and Deathslinger. Now these can hit you with a range attack once and take a full health state off a Survivor. These range attacks are powerful and do damage. This range attack doesn't, and from what I've experienced and watched, yes, it's fine to flurry attack, but you need the survivors out in the open. Any sort of objects or tiles or structures, you're going to struggle. When you stop chasing survivors, their laceration will drop with time. So the fact that you can't catch them, and you might get bloodlust, and you can chase them with all the time in the world with your bloodlust, what do you think a decent team will do to you if you're spending time chasing one person for a longer than normal period? Yep. They are going to have the gens done in no time. I have previously spoken on my podcast and speculated about killers before, and literally they've all been very underwhelming lately. The reason I think this is literally, I just want a killer that I believe can hold their own against red ranks. And when I say that, I mean real red ranks, not the boosted types, not the ones that, you know, are carrying survivors with them. You need to be able to hold your own, and I haven't seen it off many of the killers that have brought out. I am not going to take people's 50k streaks as an example of that killer doing well, because it's mismatch. You've got people with thousands and thousands and thousands of hours against people who are just coming into the game maybe a few hundred hours here and there. You can't use that as a stat. Of course, this is going to be all my personal opinion. However, I haven't been happy with any of the recent killers. Pyramid Head was good. Really liked him, loved the chapter, but the rest have been underwhelming. I know that's not going to be a popular opinion, but the rest of the killers are basically, for me, just trash. Underwhelming, and for some reason I just see the devs releasing killers that are really useless. Tell me how many times do you come across the twins? Even the Blight, I see him once in a blue moon, There is a reason for this, and this is because they're not viable killers. Sorry to all the people that main these killers, but against the better teams you're going to struggle. Now, it isn't a symmetrical game, so you will have mistakes on both sides. So winning against the odd decent team, it's not impossible. It happens, because humans will make mistakes. But do you wonder why you play against the same usual killers? There is a reason for that. I hear people on forums complaining, why do you play Freddy? Why am I always coming up against Freddy? He's boring. Why are people playing him all the time? And that's because he is a viable killer in the top games. Now, Freddy only needs a few things tweaking if the devs think he is overpowered, and I believe that's probably something that's going to happen, but he isn't overpowered against the top teams. They have to balance him out for all gamers. I have said it again on the podcast that I truly believe certain perks should only be available at certain ranks. This will only work though with a better matchmaking system, and MMR is going to come out soon. Hopefully that works. I have went on record and said I don't have faith that it's going to work properly, but I'll reserve judgment on that when it's released. I know in the forums a lot of people are saying, well, this character looks different, or people are saying he doesn't look like a horror character. Now, don't get me wrong, like the Legion only looks like a horror character because of his mask, so it wouldn't have took much. But I actually don't even like the look of this guy. I don't care about his sexuality, I don't care about his gender before people post it and saying this and this. I just don't like the design of him. I know it's a PTB, but for instance, his running looks weird. His design just doesn't look right. So for me, another chapter, another disappointment. I mean, chapter 8 is going to be hard to top because of the game breaking bugs. But like the twins, for example, I feel we will see him less frequently in the game, and he'll just be another killer gathering dust. Rather than just disagree, guys, I'm setting a challenge. If you see a video of this killer really holding his own against really good survivors, then comment the links below. I will watch every video. Comment, show me this killer holding his own against the top teams. Like I said, I'm happy to check them out and admit I was wrong, but I can't see that happening often. Please try not to share someone with 6,000-7,000 hours against someone with 300-400 hours as an example, because it's not going to work. I'm sure I'm not going to have many videos as examples, but I'm sure I will also not see many real top survivors struggle against this killer. This whole top percent thing is very clickbait. Yeah, people put on, played an insane team, top 1%. It's not true. It's not true. These teams, you can watch it and usually you'll see the mistakes that the killers made on net and why the game finished quickly. Anyway, I digress now, but this is why we have other content creators talking about viable killers, and I have to say I agree, the game hasn't got many of those viable killers, but I certainly think releasing killers that are extremely weak is a big step back for the game. You know which killers work, which ones don't, so don't release killers that are weaker than what we already have got. Now, at the time of doing this, like I said, it's been 2 days from the release of the PTB. It might be early days, he might be changed. However, we'll see what changes are done. Everyone's going to be commenting saying killer main complaining, no doubt. I will hear that in the comments, but I do play Survivor more and more these days, and to be quite honest, I would take no pleasure abusing killers that are clearly out of depth in the game, and I believe this killer is going to be out of his depth. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. Show me this video of this killer holding his own in the PTB, or when he comes out in the live servers, if nothing changes with him. Remember, be constructive and respectful. That's my opinion. You are certainly entitled to yours. Just comment below and I will happily comment back, and we'll see if you agree or not. Anyway, if you did enjoy the videos, guys, then please do remember to give it a quick like, and if you enjoy my content, please feel free to press that subscribe button, click the notification bell to keep up to date with all new video releases. Thanks, guys.